edged away from his field and won convincingly.
It's going to be Seattle's turn. He's going along easily. He wins it by about 2 lengths. Ron Dusty run his second.
Going to the infield saddling arena at Pimlico, Billy Turner's patience seemed to have paid off, as Seattle Slew looked every inch the professional athlete he needed to be, for in the Preakness, Seattle Slew was challenged early by a newcomer, Cormorant, who pushed Slew to the fastest mile ever run in the Preakness. That he had enough to easily hold off the stretch-running Iron Constitution was proof of his mettle. The excruciating pressure of possibly having an unbeaten Triple Crown champion continued to mount on the young owners and trainer. But Seattle Slew eased the tension by making another march at the Belmont. And Jean Cruguet could almost be forgiven for saluting the racing world before crossing the finish line. There had never been another to come this far unbeaten. Early morning at Churchill Downs during Derby Week is unlike any other atmosphere in sport. The hopes and promises of winter will soon be realized or dashed, and the world will be witness. In 1978, trainer John Veach was bringing back the glory days of Calumet, and thus Aladar was a sentimental favorite. Affirmed, owned by Louis Wolfson's Harborview Farms, also had a marvelous trainer in Laz Barrera, twice winner of the coveted Eclipse Award, and a gregarious, emotional man. Affirmed also had sentiment on his side in the presence of Steve Coffin, the brilliant young rider who had made 1977 his own.
And they're off.
In the Derby, Affirmed stayed near the lead. Aladar and the Devil Red Calumet Silks encountered traffic problems.
Affirmed is second. Sensitive Princess taken over third. Along the inside, Ice of Trable fourth. Believe It has moved into fifth. Then we have Chief of Dixieland. After that, it's Hoist of Silver. Aladar, trailer at this time is Dr. Valeria as they go into the turn.
Affirmed never was really threatened.
Affirmed has the lead. Believe It now is second. And on the outside, it's Aladar. It's Affirmed now drawing off. Affirmed has the lead by 2 lengths. Then we have Believe It, Aladar charging on the outside, looking for the place, coming to the finish line. It's Affirmed, the winner by a little more than a length. Aladar was second.
At Pimlico, it was understood that Aladar must move on Affirmed sooner. In the Preakness, Jorge Velasquez kept Aladar closer and moved earlier. But it must be said that Steve Coffin rode a marvelous race. It was closer, but again Affirmed seemingly won without being all out. Few things are singular in a sport as old and as large as racing, but as the Belmont approached, everyone was well aware that never before had there been such a close, consistent, and prolonged rivalry of top-class 3-year-olds. Aladar had tried it coming from behind, and now it seemed obvious that his best hope was to dog Affirmed from the very beginning, hoping to wear him down over the grueling distance of the Belmont. The result was just what the crowd and television audience had hoped to see, one of the epic battles in the history of the turf. Affirmed, there was no romp through the stretch, no time for the rider to wave his whip and salute until after the finish line was reached. Aladar had tested him to the utmost, and neither had been found wanting. So on June 10th, 1978, pandemonium returned to the winner's circle at Belmont Park. Steve Coffin and trainer Laz Barrera had gotten the most out of the brilliant Affirmed. 11 times the Triple Crown has been conquered. Far more often it has been tried by the best, but has not been attainable. So deep does it reside in the tradition and the aims of the sport of racing that it is in many ways a foundation. The Triple Crown exists only in man's mind, its symbol, this trophy. And yet this embodiment of a dream is something upon which men and women who love the thoroughbred build their stables, their stud farms, their sporting enterprises. The Triple Crown. It has happened 11 times, and it will someday happen again. That day is something to wait for.